Hello, today we're going to talk about Doom Emacs. This is my favorite Linux distribution. I have three distributions in my computer. So I have the standard Emacs, which is something that we all learn from. This is the classic. This is what took forever to learn, and it was a little complicated at the beginning, but that's how we all started. Now, when we started installing distributions, the reason we do that is because it's a lot easier to have a distribution like Spacemacs. For example, if I press Super SS, I can launch Spacemacs on this computer, and this is a different distribution. I'm not as comfortable here as with Doom Emacs, but it is the same. You have space as the leader key. For example, we want to go to buffer, and then we want to, for example, press N, capital N, and then that will take us to a new buffer. And that's how you start doing things, right? I think I might have delayed too much, but anyway, that's how you start doing things on Space Emacs. When you choose the distribution that you prefer, you can have the three distributions in your same computer. I just did that with a simple bash script. The only thing that I'm doing here is I created for example, for Spacemacs SH, all I did was create a variable called distribution. That variable, I will go to my home, then I remove the Emacs file. Then I remove the emacs.d folder, and then I create a symbolic link from home/.config/distribution, in which this case would be Emacs, and then I do that symbolic link to my home Emacs folder. That's all I'm gonna do. I can show you the Doom Emacs script. It's super simple. I tried a plugin for Emacs that has profiles, but it took like 3-4 seconds to load, so I thought, let's just do it the way I want to do it, just with a simple script, right? So if I go back to my terminal and then I type Doom Emacs, right, it will do the symbolic link and it will take me to Emacs, right? Doom Emacs. Now, in this specific example, I'm going to show how the buffers work, right? This is something that a little bit at the beginning I was a little bit confused. However, I learned how to do it, and now I think it's a fundamental part of how I use the software. What I like to do is, for example, I like to start with org agenda. So then I can have my agenda here on a very specific buffer, and then I can start my new buffer by, all I have to do is press the letter N. Now, N, it stands for new empty buffer. And in the second buffer, what I like to do is, for example, I like to check my email, right? So let's use mu for E. Here, for example, if I press U, it will start synchronizing my email with MBSync, as we can see in the bottom left corner. As I'm checking my email, what I would like to do is you press the letter space key, and then if you can see, if you press less than, it'll show you what buffer you want to use, right? So we can go back to the home screen, or we can go back to, for example, the notes that I have, or I can go back to org agenda. Now, I'm going to do another video that shows you how to switch screens and how to change the size of screens, but the purpose of this video was just to talk about buffers. Buffers are really useful. There's things that we don't have in other editors, right? If you go to, let's say, Vim, the normal Vim, there are a lot of things that are different on Vim, right? Like that, you can go through help, you can go through manual, you have splits, but I don't remember ever using Vim or NeoVim. For example, I can launch NerdTree. There's a lot of things that you can do with Vim or with NeoVim, right? I have them configured on similar screens, similar keystrokes, but at the end of the day, Vim for me has always been a program that's a little more basic, right? I love Vim. We're gonna do a whole new videos on Vim. However, when you launch Emacs, first and foremost, it's a graphical program. You have a completely different thing. You have the mouse. You can, for example, you can jump to bookmark. There's a lot of things that you can do, but honestly, we don't use the mouse too much, right? For example, what I like to do is I like to have here, if I press space return, I can go to my bookmarks, right? So let's go to config Doom. This is like the main folder where I see the configurations for Doom, right? So I might have to man, hold on, I might have to show like the different types of things that I can do here. I can, for example, I can run or I can reload Doom, right? So I can put Doom and then reload. And there's a lot of things that I can do here, right? However, let's say that I want to, for some reason, check my email, right? On Vim, you couldn't do things like that, right? But here, what you can do is you can launch a new buffer, right? So then you press space B, then you press the letter capital N, new empty buffer, and now you have a completely different buffer. So now in this buffer, you might want to check your email, right? That's something that you can't, or I don't know how to do things as advanced as like in Nano, or like there's a reason why Emacs has more powerful, right? I can also create a new buffer to go to Twitter, right? So I'm gonna launch the Twitter, let's say the Twitter client that I have, or I can open a file in org mode or something like that. So I'm gonna create a new buffer, and then I'm going to open a file that I have here on org mode. So essentially, when I have I created a very simple, for example, I might go into notes, right, or tasks, and then I created another file that's just like the basics or basics of org mode, right? So then when I go to this file here, I might want to compile some Java, compile Python, and start doing things like this. Now the cool thing about it is that now when I go to the different buffers, now I have my config file from Doom, I have my messages, I have my email, and then now I have a lot of different buffers that I created, right? So let's go back to, for example, to my config file, and then I can quickly change buffers, right? Now there's a lot of different things that we can do with this, but essentially what I like doing is I like having like a buffer just for email, and then on that buffer the only thing I do is I check for email. I can press the letter U, I can go to NB sync, and then I can start switching to another buffer, for example the org mode file that I was working. So essentially those are the fundamentals. That's how you can have your Emacs pretty much helping you switch screens. Now this is not like it doesn't take a lot to kind of learn buffers. Like we still have to be a little bit more, go more into details, like how to utilize in a better way. But essentially those are the basics. Like if I want to, let's say, switch to different buffers, then all I have to do is just B for buffer, that's like the main letter, and then here it'll help me like save a buffer. Like I can also start setting a bookmark, I can create a new empty buffer, I can kill all buffers if I want to, or I can start doing like a lot of different things. So anyway, thank you for watching. I'm gonna do a lot of videos on Emacs, the normal GNU Emacs, the Space Macs, and Doom Emacs. So the whole idea is to really start getting the best out of this software that we all